Howdy, folks. Welcome back or welcome aboard. You are listening to the Doc Owen Show. This is Richard Doc Owen. I'm joined in the Hilltop Studios by...
I'm a surefire.
And...
Uncle Hibachi.
Uncle Hibachi. Full house, ready to rock and roll. The first thing I would like to do is to report out on the fact... Last week's show was called Uncle Tom, Not the One You Think, and it was a tribute to my uncle. And I'm kind of happy to report that we dropped what we were doing immediately after the show, booked flights, and headed for the Mississippi coast, a little town called Ocean Springs, Mississippi. And we were there while Uncle Tom was still alive. Got to hold his hand, have a conversation, and the next day he went to be with our Lord. And I am absolutely confident 100% that that's where he is. Mm-hmm. That's just the life that he lived, and those he left behind are a testimony to that. So it actually was all good. I mean, he passed away less than 24 hours after we got there. Or no, not quite. A little more than 24. Yeah. But anyway, the next day, the following evening. Right. After the evening that we were there. So it's all good. Got there in time to say my goodbyes, which was nice. Mm-hmm. Tonight's show is titled, as Aretha taught us, RESPECT. Uh-huh. And if you are in the audience and don't know what that means, hit the pause button on your podcast and Google it. Aretha Franklin is her name. And the name of the song was Respect. Actually, I think it was Respect Yourself. RESPECT. That'll kind of be the core of what we'll chat about tonight, if that's okay with everybody.
It took me the longest time to remember that part of the song.
Because you had to go
spelling.
Yeah. Because you had to go from the beginning. It's like, what are the last two digits of your driver's license?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Hold on. 72.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you. You're going to have to visualize with me now, and then we'll get back on path. All right, this is going to be. Let's see if I can do this on the radio. All right, we'll see how good a picture painter that I am. There was a young man that went in and applied for a job. Okay, and in these parts we call them Aggies. In other parts they're called Polacks. In other part, there's always a group that everybody else seems to make fun of. Mm-hmm. And truth be told, Aggies are the ones who make up most Aggie jokes, poking fun at themselves or whatever. So this young man's interviewing for a job, all right? And the interviewer said, how old are you? And he started counting on his fingers. You know how you do, you count on your fingers. 22 years old. Okay. So when were you born? And again, he pulls out his fingers and goes, counts on his fingers and comes up with, what would it be? 1996 would make him 22, right? Mm-hmm. The interviewer says, that's quite impressive. You took, you counted backwards on your fingers. That's great. What's your first name? Again, he goes through his fingers and he goes, David. And the interviewer said, hold on a minute. You counted your fingers forward to get to 22 years of age. That's good. You counted backwards to give me the year that you were born. But I have no understanding of why or how you could use your fingers to tell me your first name. And the guy said, oh, that's the easy one. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear David.
That's a good one. So, I like that.
Is that you guys kind of had the visual, so those of you in the audience, you're just going to have to use your fingers and go through the routine yourself, and you'll see that it's actually totally appropriate. Okay. So, I don't know what brought that up. We are all over the social media as Doc Owen Show, DOCOWENSHOW. We have, which means Facebook. That's our handle on Twitter. I mean, we got all kinds of things going on out there as Doc Owen Show. We have a blog, docowenshow.com, which soon will probably have a little store page to it where we will allow for your amusement and purchase some patriotic items, which will be the first in 5 years that we've ever done anything like that. But currently, it is the what should we call it, Uncle Baji? The archives of your historical work,
right?
Because Bachi gives us 10 to 12 minutes of history every week, and there's probably
volumes
10
more.
to 12 hours worth of research that goes into creating that 10 to 12 minutes, and he puts all of that out there on the blog. It's all classified, et cetera, which is pretty cool. What else do we do? We've got free apps for both Apple and Android devices. They give you access to not just listening live, but all of our podcasts historically, so you can go back and follow the thread and enjoy it at your leisure and download it and give it to your friends and spread the word about the Doc Owen Show. And those are really good. And we are all over most every major network in, I want to say the country, but certainly the ones that are headquartered in the country and broadcast on the internet worldwide. So we're real proud of all of those capabilities, and we're very difficult to not find. If you want to listen to the Doc Owen Show, just Google DOCOWENSHOW, and you'll come up with a page or two worth of links of how to find us. And this funny-looking little guy that looks like a bumblebee and holding a snowboard or something. And that's us. All right. After those self-promoting public service announcements, we go into the more traditional part of the show. Ms. Surefire gives us a thought of, inspirational thought that you found somewhere.
That's
Uncle
true.
Bachi gives us a minute, one or two instances of this day in history.
Right.
And then I close it out having something to do with, lately if it's been spiritual, and it will be again tonight, with everybody's permission. Either spiritual or leadership, and those tend to tie together if you're smart. So, Ms. Surefire, take it away.
And tonight's quote comes from a new site that I found. It's success.com.
That's it?
That's it. So that they had some quotes, and I got one from a gentleman by the name of Blake Mikowski. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Of the Michigan Mikowskis, probably.
Probably, yeah. He is an American entrepreneur, author, and philanthropist. Oh. Best known for being the founder and chief shoe giver of Tom's Shoes.
Oh, that guy.
Yes.
THOM. Or just TOM?
TOM.
Okay.
Oh. And his quote is, if you organize your life around your passion, you can turn your passion into your story, and then turn your story into something bigger, something that matters.
That would be Tom's Shoes.
Excellent.
That would be Tom's Shoes. Are you familiar with him?
Oh, like Tom McCann?
No, that's THOM.
Oh.
That was one of the things.
I might, but I'd need to connect it to something.
Tom's gives a huge amount of their profit or money to people who can't hold on to their mice. No, that's Uncle Bachi. So that was the no, to the shoeless nations of the world.
Oh, okay.
And with every pair of shoes that they sell, and they give away tons and tons. And I think there's something to do with recycling. You know, they recycle. If you're through with your Tom shoes, you give them back, and they give you a new pair. There's something. Yeah. But it's very, as you put it, very philanthropic about the way he runs his business. And so, I don't know any more about the detail other than that. It's really pretty cool, and they're real, kind of. I don't want to call them beachwear. I mean, they're not dress shoes. they're like
Comfortable, casual shoes.
very very casual shoes. So it's pretty neat. It's a good concept. So that's the name of that. Uncle Bachi,
Yes.
what do you have for us
Well, we're
tonight?
going not too far back to 1984.
Oh
on
wait,
this
this
day.
isn't history. No, I'm sorry.
What?
We're supposed to be talking about history.
This is history.
No, it's not.
1984?
No, I was alive. It is not history. It's my life.
Okay.
Okay, what do you got?
Whatever
Let's
you
see-
say.
Let's see what.
Do you remember who the Democratic nominee was for the Democratic Party? Remember, Reagan was going on his second term.
Was it
And-
Mondale?
Yes, it was. Do you remember who he picked for his running mate?
Oh. It wasn't Rice, was it?
No.
Okay.
No.
That's
This
the
is
guy with the
Democrat.
girl on the boat. Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah. Okay.
How did you know Mondale? Good job.
That was my first time for me to vote. So
See
I
that?
remember
See?
I remember that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, good. Well, he picked a woman.
Geraldine
Ferraro.
That's it.
Out
Ferraro.
of- Ferraro.
Ferraro. Because
Yep.
they say Ferrari.
Yep.
Yeah, Ferraro.
Okay.
Yes, from New York.
We
She was
just
a
referred to him
congresswoman.
as the sacrificial lamb.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, what did he win? One state?
Going up against Reagan's reelection. Is
Yeah.
Forget that.
that it?
That's it for today. Yes, that's all I've got.
Okay. So from our book given to me by G, thank you, sir. God Bless America, Prayers and Reflections for Our Country. And this is out of the section called Respect. RESPECT.
Find out what it means to me.
The wise inherit honor. That's Proverbs 3:35. Okay? And in 1 Peter 2:17, show proper respect to everyone. Love the brotherhood of believers, fear God, and honor the king.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. I like the inheriting honor.
Yeah.
So that's the name of that.
Well, good.
Part of it originated by Uncle Tom. So we're going to talk about the American flag.
Okay.
We're gonna hear a little piece from our friend David Bray's new album about respect. He's got one of. If you haven't downloaded that yet, I highly suggest you do it from iTunes. It's Dave Bray USA, and he has a piece in there that you're going to hear. We've played it once before, but it is a storyteller album where he tells a little story and then plays a song, and then tells another story and then plays a song. So it's very, very heartfelt. And I think you'll like it, even if you did hear it on one of our previous shows tonight, because it's about respect. So, and then we're going to talk about some shenanigans that are going on with the United States flag and other signs of disrespect around this country. Mm-hmm. Having said that, where are we in
Not too hard to do that. We are moving on to number 21,
Okay.
President Chester A. Arthur.
And as we say in the world of history, we are moving like a herd of turtles.
Exactly. On a Corvette. No.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Took
Okay.
it like a Corvette.
Now, you'll recall when we talked about James Garfield last week,
Yeah.
he had the unpleasant experience of dying 6 months.
He's not. That's not in the funny papers anymore, is it?
Oh, the cat? Garfield the cat? I don't know. I remember Garfield. I used to hate to read it, but I did.
Why did you hate to read it? Where did that come
Because
from?
he scared me.
How did he scare you?
The Cheshire Cat. I just looking at him with that big grin on his face. I didn't like it as a child.
That's funny.
I picked my comics.
It's apparently.
Yeah.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
So upon Garfield's death, he became president because he was Garfield's vice president.
That would make sense.
Okay.
That would be logical.
So this is the first time in American history where within 1 year's time, 3 different presidents became president
Now,
or were
that's
serving as
within
president.
one calendar year.
Within,
we had 3.
in 1881.
Now that's an interesting
Yeah, it is.
anecdote, as we say.
As it is. I thought it was too, so I included it here. So what happened was that Garfield was in office. He
Yeah.
died.
Yeah,
Chester A. Arthur became president.
right.
And
Now finish but who was the third one?
hold on a second. I lost my place here.
That's what happens when
Garfield
you drop your mouse.
Office next day.
Okay.
Maybe I have it further down in my notes.
Okay.
I'm sorry
That's
for
okay.
misleading you.
Not misleading, just
Yeah.
I'm going to make you come back to
Yeah,
it.
I have in my notes here. He
Okay.
was only time 3 people held office in the same year.
Okay, keep going.
Okay. Anyway,
Yep.
he had a pretty good high IQ,
Oh, I know what it is.
141.5.
When let's dissect this a minute. When Garfield got
Shot.
when did he take office?
He took office in 1880
No, what month?
in March,
Okay.
and by September he was dead.
Okay. So there's your 3 presidents. The guy that was
Garfield.
before Garfield, number 1.
See that?
Garfield, number 2.
Good.
And his successor, number 3.
There you go.
Bingo.
All in 1 year.
I knew we could
Same
figure
year.
that.
Thank you. I appreciate that help. So he was reportedly a snappy dresser. He owned at least, ready to this, 80 pairs of trousers. And he hired his own valet, personal valet, to tend to his wardrobe. Imagine that. Yeah.
Actually,
Okay.
they turned the negative into a positive.
Somehow or
He
other.
was a very sloppy eater.
I don't know. That I don't know about. He attended school in several New York towns before entering the prestigious Lyceum School. I don't know if any of you ever heard of it. It's in Schenectady, New York, and it is a very renowned college, a very renowned school. It's a Catholic school.
That's where that bug on the Florida coast got its name. The no-see-ums.
Oh, the Noceums?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You say so. At the age of 15, in 1845, he enrolled in Union College, graduated, and went on to study law and became a lawyer in 1854.
Okey-doke.
So, his full name is Chester Allen Arthur. Some of the nicknames, he had quite a few. Imagine that. His first one that I have here is Chet, which is probably a short version. He was also called the Gentleman Boss because they considered him to be a dapper leader in the New York State Republican Party.
Okay.
He was also called Prince Arthur and the Dude President because of his
The way he
fancy
dressed.
attire.
Right.
Yeah, he had a sense of style, so they called him that. It was also, this one's not very nice.
Can you
They
say it on the
called him-
radio?
Yeah, I can say it on the radio.
Okay.
But he was called Walrus.
I can't believe you said that on the radio.
Yeah. Because he had strange-looking facial hair.
Yeah.
And it was always teased by the children.
Not to mention those 2 teeth that stuck out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was really unusual. I looked high and low for that picture. Apparently, they didn't publish it. He was from the state of New York. He was a Republican. His age was 51 when he took office. He was 6'2" and weighed about 224 pounds.
Yeah.
He was an Episcopalian. He was born October 5th, 1829. Okay, so he was around for the Civil War and all of that. He was born in North Fairfield, Vermont. He died on November 18th, 1886, in New York. His resting place is in Albany, the Albany Rural Cemetery, which is in Menands, New York. I don't know where that is, but it's somewhere up there.
Okay.
So he was in office from September 19th to March 4th, 1885. So he was there for 3 years, 6 months.
Okay. Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
almost the full. Same salary, $50,000. Today's money, it's $1.1 million. A lot of money. Okay, he held other offices. In 1858, he joined the New York State Militia, and he served until 1862. From 1871 to 1878, Arthur was the collector of the Port of New York. In other words, any dues, fees, and whatever, that was his job.
Yep.
Okay, and then in 1881...
He was the port boss.
Yeah, exactly. He was elected to become the vice president under President James Garfield.
Yep.
Okay. He married a lady by the name of Ellen Neal Lewis Herndon. Nell, not Neil. Ellen Nell Lewis Herndon.
Louise.
No, it says Lewis. Lewis.
Oh, that was her maiden name.
That was her maiden name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. I
Okay.
thought you were saying Luis.
No.
Okay.
Okay. They got married in October of 1859, and unfortunately, poor Nell died of pneumonia before he became president.
Oh, jeez.
So Arthur's sister, Mary Arthur McElroy, she served as the White House hostess during his time there. They had 2 children, Chester Allen Arthur Jr., and to keep in line with that, the girl was named Ellen Nell Herndon Arthur. Took her mother. They both took their parents' names, or they were given their parents' names. Now, there was no campaign, obviously, because...
Tag, you're it.
Yeah, tag, you're it. That's exactly right. In his cabinet, for the most part, he kept everybody on that Garfield had provided, but very quickly got rid of them. He really did. He chose other people. He didn't keep the originals on for very long, except for the Secretary of War, Robert T. Lincoln, which I think is Lincoln's grandson. He stayed on during the whole time.
Yeah, you can't fire Lincoln.
Yeah. So, there were no states admitted to the Union while he was there. He had 23 court appointments, most of which were passed. I think there was one. Oh, yeah, somebody by the name of Roscoe Conklin declined the offer. So he had the one Supreme Court two Supreme Court nominations. I'm going back and forth. This is not hockey here. Okay. And I think I'm going to finish up on this week because there's really not a whole lot. So this is what was going on. Due to rising, there was an anti-Chinese feeling in the country at the time, particularly in California. So Congress attempted to pass a law stopping Chinese immigration for 20 years, but Arthur vetoed it. Eventually, however, he did sign a bill, which was comprised of in Congress. He signed what was called the Chinese Exclusion Act into law in 1882. Now, originally, it was only supposed to be for 10 years.
Okay.
But it was re-implemented or renewed for the next 10 and the next 10.
Sure.
Okay?
Sure.
It didn't get repealed until 1943.
What a mistake. Was that out loud?
The other big issue was the Pendleton civil service. Remember, we've been talking about a lot of civil service reform.
Yeah.
Boy, do we need it today. But look at this. The last, 3 or 4 presidents, they've all had issues with civil service. Okay? So I thought that was interesting.
Because civil service ain't. They ain't civil.
They ain't civil, is right. Okay. So the guy who killed President Garfield was a lawyer who was unhappy for being rejected for the investment. We talked about that last week.
Mm-hmm.
So he signed that bill into law and readily enforced it. His staunch support of the law led former supporters to become disenchanted with him, which probably lost him the nomination in 1884.
Really?
Yes.
Because
But we'll find that out. We'll find. Yeah. Well, they didn't like the law. The
Okay.
civils. They did. They just weren't happy with it. So anyway,
Okay.
there was also something called the of 1883, and there's a lot of talk about tariffs today, but he supported this tariff to try to appease all sides. It actually only reduced the duties to 1.5%, so it wasn't all that.
Yeah. More ceremonial.
Yeah, not too many people were unhappy, but it was significant because it began decades-long debate.
Okay.
On tariffs, and which still goes on
Today. Yep.
Yes, sir. The Republicans then became the party of protectionism because of that, while the Democrats, were more inclined towards free trade. Go figure. Go figure. Where are those Democrats today? I don't know, but that's funny. Okay, and I'm going to close off with a couple of quotes. These are funny. I may be president of the United States, but my private life is nobody's damned business.
Yeah, okay. That's another reason he didn't run for reelection.
Right. He also said, men may die, but the fabrics of free institution remain unshaken. That was pretty good, free institutions, unless somebody bashes them. And the last one is the extravagant expenditure of public money is an evil to be measured by the value of that money to the people who are taxed for it.
Okay.
And that was Chester A. Arthur, folks.
Well, I got something I want you to watch for. Every president, you've told us how much they got paid and what that is in today's dollars.
Right.
Right. And if memory serves, right now they're being paid substantially more in today's dollars than our presidents are.
The last time I checked, it was $250,000, but it might have been
a year.
Yeah, it
Or
might
a
have gone
quarter?
up. No, that's a year.
Okay, so what we're going to have to watch for is because
See how that goes down.
well, they're not making less money.
Right.
So when did they start taking it out of salary and putting it into benefits?
Exactly. And we will get to that point.
You follow me?
I already anticipated
So
that.
when did the salary start becoming slightly lower, but they got health care, or they got a free carriage,
Or they got an expense account.
An expense account.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
follow me?
And that did happen.
Of course it did.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're not ever going to. So for our young listeners, these are kind of keys that you need to watch for.
Yeah.
What's the total package, as they say? What's the value of the total package? Yes, ma'am.
They get to like ongoing, I don't know, some kind of pension.
Forever.
Yeah.
It's my understanding if you serve one term, you get pension for life.
If you serve 6 months, your pension for life.
Even
Wow.
less.
it.
Yeah. You can get elected, go up there and say, nah, I don't want to do this. I quit. And you got a life pension of a certain percentage of your
Exactly.
salary. Yeah. So we need to watch.
We will.
Where that started to turn and under whose guidance that started to turn.
We certainly will.
Okay. That was my thought on the matter.
Okay. And next week we'll talk about Grover Cleveland.
This is going to get good.
Remember Grover?
Nope.
No, he has a very interesting story. He has a very interesting
I've
story.
heard of him. Okay.
And we'll find out more why they rejected Chester Arthur at the convention. Okay. And my name is, or you can reach me at Uncle Bocci, UNCLEBACI, at DocOwenShow.com.
Reach out.
Got it.
Thank you, Uncle Bachi.
Good job, Uncle Bachi.
Thank you.
Okay, let's listen briefly. I want to play two things for you back to back. The first one is by he was actually known as a comedian, but he was also a huge patriot. And I know that we have played this skit on the Doc Owen Show many, many, many times. And we probably will forever, simply because it is so impactful. You can go out and get your own copy off of YouTube, or wait till it comes back around again on the Doc Owen Show. But I highly submit to you or encourage you to listen to it closely and tell your friends about it, because it just really has a lot of meaning to it. And it is the Pledge of Allegiance of the United States of America by Mr. Red Skelton.
Yeah.
Take it away.
I remember a teacher that I had. Now, I went through the 7th grade. I went to the 7th grade. And I left home when I was 10 years old because I was hungry. And I used to, this is true. I work in the summer and I go to school in the winter. But I had this one teacher. He was the principal of the Harrison School in Vincennes, Indiana. To me, this was the greatest teacher, a real sage of my time, anyhow. He had such wisdom. And we were all reciting the Pledge of Allegiance one day. And he walked over, this little old teacher. Mr. Laswell was his name. Mr. Laswell. He says, he says, I've been listening to you boys and girls recite the Pledge of Allegiance all semester. And it seems as though it's becoming monotonous to you. If I may I recite it and try to explain to you the meaning of each word. I, me, an individual, a committee of one, pledge, dedicate all of my worldly goods to give without self-pity, allegiance, my love and my devotion to the flag, our standard, Old Glory, a symbol of freedom. Wherever she waves, there's respect, because your loyalty has given her a dignity that shouts freedom is everybody's job. United. That means that we have all come together. States, individual communities that have united into 48 great states. 48 individual communities with pride and dignity and purpose. All divided with imaginary boundaries, yet united to a common purpose, and that's love for country. And to the republic, a state in which sovereign power is invested in representatives chosen by the people to govern. And government is the people, and it's from the people to the leaders, not from the leaders to the people, for which it stands. One nation, meaning so blessed by God, indivisible, incapable of being divided, with liberty, which is freedom, the right of power to live one's own life without threats, fear, or some sort of retaliation. And justice, the principle or qualities of dealing fairly with others. For all, which means, boys and girls, it's as much your country as it is mine. And now, boys and girls, let me hear you recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Since I was a small boy, 2 states have been added to our country, and 2 words have been added to the Pledge of Allegiance: under God. Wouldn't it be a pity if someone said that is a prayer and that would be eliminated from schools too?
Welcome to Music on a Mission. My name is Dave Bray, USA. I'm a United States Navy veteran, a singer and a songwriter, a husband and a father, and I consider myself a proud patriot of the greatest nation on the planet Earth. Music on a Mission is actually an audiobook, accompanied by my original music and a few takes on some timeless classics that I'm sure you'll know and learn to love. With this Storyteller album, my intention is to give you, the listener, an inside look at how and why I wrote this collection of songs, and to give you that same intimacy that you would only get by seeing a live performance from an artist. I'd like to be the first to say thank you for purchasing my debut Storyteller album, and while I'm here, I might as well tell you a little bit about my mission, why I put the songs and words together, and what I hope this album as a whole can do for people like you who care deeply about this nation, our freedom, and the next generation. So, Music on a Mission, what is it all about? First off, it's about respect. You simply cannot have patriotism within your country without respect. It is a learned behavior, and we are absolutely failing to teach respect to our children. In my opinion, and by the actions of so many so-called citizens in this country, the virtue of respect for anything, be it life, love, liberty, or one another as human beings, is all but gone. Unfortunately, respect has very quickly been sucked into the endless void of the internet, social media, and our newly found digital existence within our cell phones. But Music on a Mission is also about patriotism, learning what it means to be a patriot, and understanding that the job of teaching patriotism along with respect to the next generation falls upon each and every one of us. The idea of standing up for your country, your flag, and the men and women who serve to protect this great nation, her people, and their freedom is not a new one. For as long as I can remember, in our schools and in the house I was raised, it was commonplace to look upon our military, our police, our firefighters, our first responders, and our men and women in uniform as heroes. My mother was from England, and she would have to earn her citizenship in this country. Between her and my father, my brother and I were taught that our flag and the nation for which it stands was to be respected, celebrated, and revered. We stood up for it. We saluted or covered our hearts for it, and you'd better believe we pledged our undying allegiance to it, without question, every day, and without fail. What many people don't know or may have forgotten is that the people who wear a uniform swear an oath to it. That oath is for life. And for all of those heroes who have given their lives to uphold that oath, this album is for you. As a veteran, this is my continuation of service. As a patriot, I dedicate this album to all of those who have worn the cloth of this great nation. As a citizen, I pray that you will join me in honoring the men and women of service, both past and present, and respect the flag that they selflessly defended while wearing that uniform. Music on a Mission is all about being a God-fearing, freedom-loving, flag-waving patriot. It's about standing up for what's right. So let's get back to teaching some respect, and patriotism will follow.
Thank you, Brother Dave. Well said. Well done. Appreciate your effort in having to put that out. So, I can hear it. The reason that I bring all of that up and kind of tie it all together this evening is quite simple. This morning I saw on a Facebook page a posting from the University of Kansas about an American flag that has been desecrated with black paint in the name of art by some, I think, French or Italian artist. I've forgotten which. Did you guys see that?
Yes, I did, but I don't, like you, I don't remember.
And me neither.
I can hear it. Talk to it.
Yeah, it was some nationality, and I saw a picture of the flag, and it really was a desecration. It was black paint marks on the flag.
On the
It was
stripes.
On the stripes.
Yep.
Yeah, I think there was one other spot, too, but yeah, it was definitely on the stripes.
Well, as a part of that, it was mentioned that it was also being flown at Texas State University. For those of us in Texas, that was formerly known as Southwest Texas State University, I think.
Yes.
Southwest Texas College, originally. What was it called? Your dad went there.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking.
Sweet Soup. Southwest Texas State University.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's in San Marcos, Texas.
Yes.
It's not very far from where we are. And so I chimed in on the Facebook. I put out the name of the phone number for the president's office and encouraged folks to call there because I immediately called the president of the university. And basically, I told them that this was not a polite request. It was a demand that they take that flag down. And the young lady that was representing the president's office, she was very polite. She said, I have not seen it myself, so I cannot vouch for the fact that it's up. So later in the day, I got a call back from the head of the arts and something department, the arts and crafts department, that would have had the responsibility for putting it up or whatever. It was a voicemail. He stuttered through it and basically left his phone number, and I'll call him back tomorrow. So you'll just have to check the Doc Owen Show Facebook page for an update. But one of the things that I got from one of our friends on the Doc Owen Show, and actually a high school classmate of mine, posted out there United States Code, Title 18, Part 1, Chapter 33, Subsection 700.
Yeah.
Desecration of the flag of the United States, semicolon, penalties. Whoever knowingly mutilates, defaces, physically defiles, burns, maintains on the floor or ground, or tramples upon any flag of the United States shall be fined under this title or imprisoned for not more than 1 year or both. It is absolutely against the law to do what was done. Now, any university, and there were several on this Facebook, go to the Doc Owen Show Facebook page. There were several universities that flew this flag. I'm looking at this and I'm parsing words and thinking like a lawyer. None of them actually desecrated the flag. They displayed it, as they said, as a work of art. So according to this code, technically they did not do the desecration.
What weasels.
I'm not saying that that's what they're going to stand behind. I'm just saying if I'm looking at it and parsing words and playing,
if they did,
a TV lawyer, that's what I would do. This subsection does not prohibit any conduct consisting of the disposal of the flag when it has become worn or soiled. And you can go on and read the rest, but that basically is what it's about. In other words, what this says is you can't be the one who desecrates the flag. And these art departments are displaying it as if it were art. And that is the reason for the title of the show. I hope those of you who don't remember have already gone out to Google and or YouTube and listened to Aretha Franklin do Respect Yourself. I didn't have time to download it, or I would have given you a clip.
And this goes with what David Bray just said. Respect. They have no respect for something that is sacred.
And it becomes, well, it's not that well, they don't have any respect for something that's sacred. But beyond that, they don't have any respect for the people of our country. That's why I was so upset that Texas State University did it, because they gave every Texan a bad name, in my opinion. Because Texas is, if some alphabet soup university that didn't have the state's name in it wants to put it up there, then that's fine. But the fact that it's called Texas State or Kansas University or wherever else it was displayed, those basically are public education entities. They get they get taxpayer funds to do what they do. And, I mean, I can't imagine what goes through the idiot mind of someone in control or in power or in a position of responsibility that would advocate or allow a already desecrated American flag to be run up the flagpole. I mean, help me out. Anybody, that's one of those Bueller.
Yeah.
I mean, is there anybody out there that can answer what I just don't get it. They must have fog in their heads, or they truly are anti-American and need to be run out of here on a freaking rail. If you can't think, as an adult in charge of students, if you can't think of a good logical reason of why to tell your students that you may think it's art and you're more than welcome to put it up in your dorm room, but you're not going to display it in front of God and everybody in public as if the institution itself is endorsing what you're doing.
Right.
Because the minute you do that, then you've said this institution endorses subversion of the United States. Mm-hmm. Right?
Absolutely.
And it all starts with a lack of respect.
Absolutely.
No respect, not just for the flag, but for the people that are behind it, for the constant. One of my favorite phrases in the entire Pledge of Allegiance, and for the Republic, and to the Republic for which it stands. Mm-hmm. You're not really pledging to the flag. It is simply a symbol of the Republic for which it stands. Yeah. And that be's us.
May I interject with a short story?
Interject away, please.
Okay. I said sacred before.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Let me expound on that a little bit.
Please.
And tell you why the flag is something sacred to me.
Okay.
Okay. My grandparents came from Italy, settled in New York State. Their second oldest was a son. He was my uncle. I didn't know him. Got to know the man. He was Uncle Joe.
Okay.
Uncle Joe, Joseph Apicelli.
Of course.
Okay.
Yep.
As soon as they got here to America with his other 3 siblings and my grandfather,
right?
Okay, that man enlisted into the army and fought for the United States against Germany and whatever those other places were.
In World War I?
In World War I.
Okay.
And he died on the battlefield.
Representing
the country that he had adopted as his homeland.
And that had adopted him.
Exactly.
Right.
They were here legally, everything. Yeah. And then my father also lost an eye in the Second World War. Okay?
Yep.
I don't know how the man did it, but he did great things anyway. But that's why when I see somebody desecrating the flag, it's personal to you. It's very, very personal to me. Very personal.
I would submit to you that we all need to make it personal.
Exactly. It should be.
that whatever it is, mine's from my military and actually from high school before that, but from my experience at the Naval Academy was when I really learned a total appreciation for what it stands for and what people have done to protect what it stands for.
Exactly.
But it goes back to this lack of respect. And if you'll listen to Aretha, it's about respect yourself. And that's kind of where it all starts. You can't respect others if you don't respect yourself.
That's the same thing about love, too.
Okay, go ahead. Give us some more of that thought.
Well, just like you said, if you don't love yourself, you can't love others.
Yeah,
that's very true.
Okay, exactly. I agree with 100%.
I've seen that with my own eyes.
So, audience, if you haven't figured it out, she doesn't say much. But when she does,
bam!
Listen up.
Yes, yes.
So you're both absolutely correct, and I want the audience, our friends in the audience, really need to hear that loud and clear, and actually this whole thing, this whole emotion, if you will, started in me when I got the call about Uncle Tom, the decorated Marine in the Korean War. and that's when it started for me, was when I started wearing my Uncle Tom's Marine Corps hat that he wore in the Korean War when I was not even a teenager. Mm-hmm. That was my winter hat. And so I'm not sure what the solution is, what steps you can take to learn and gain this respect. It's like leaders who demand it but don't earn it. They never seem to get it from their followers. They don't have followers very long. True leaders, their followers respect them for a number of different reasons. So how do we get young people today to respect themselves, to be able to take pride in the fact that they, shine? We used to make sure our shoes were shined before we went to work or to church.
That's right.
It's not coming from the parents anymore. It's not, it's not being instilled in these children anymore. Because all in the name of, for lack of a better term, political correctness, allowing them to do what they want to do, to express themselves. We're more concerned with the ability of a young person to express themselves than we are with their ability to respect themselves and others. Right?
That's right.
I mean, I was having a conversation with somebody today, and I pointed out that the person on the other end of the phone, that I have no idea who it was saying, we were talking insurance, and was saying something about transgender people and people who change their gender, et cetera, and what problems that was creating in the in the insurance business. Like I cared, but my response back to him was just kind of off the top of my head. When you do that, you are literally destroying God's work. When you changed your gender, you are destroying God's work. And no matter what you think about it, that's who created you. That's who put you here for a specific purpose and in that particular body. Get comfortable with it. Respect it, and respect. That's the only way it's going to happen.
But if you keep your same gender and just have plastic surgery, that's okay.
Well, yeah, that's enhancing.
That's right.
One would think.
Yeah, that's true.
Rather than defiling.
Right.
So sometimes it looks like defiled if they make a mistake.
That's a bad plastic surgery.
Exactly.
I've seen that too.
But I don't know. We need to work in the audience and friends of the show, et cetera, et cetera. We need to work on teaching or emulating, showing, demonstrating respect for ourselves and everything around us. Mm-hmm. I mean, little bitty things. Open the door for somebody else. Mm-hmm. Stand out of the way. Mm-hmm. Let them talk instead of you. All sorts of stuff.
Yep.
Dress nice when you go to church.
No matter how minor you might think it is, somebody's watching.
That's right.
And it'll have an impact. Front row. Time to go. You have been listening to the Doc Owen Show. Thank you so much for having us. We really appreciate it. Now go out there this week and take care, pay attention, and God bless.
Bye-bye, folks. God bless.